Hi, Richard Dennis here. I'm going to read a short piece of fiction that I wrote about 10 years ago that still seems to have some relevance today. You know, Johnny, I never thought of myself as Lady Liberty, the Statue of Liberty said with a laugh. She occupied the whole couch. I could see little stains of copper patina on the Italian leather. But what does that mean anyway? Whenever somebody calls me that, I'm like, lady, are you kidding? Laughter. I prefer green goddess. Doesn't that sound more like me? Carson leaned forward, like a puppy that suddenly smelled a piece of liver in his master's pocket. I was afraid he might fall out of the chair and spill his coffee. It does indeed. I have to tell you, Dean Martin was on the show last week, and he said something nice about you. Oh, I love Dino. That man can climb up my stairs anytime he wants, if you know what I mean. The studio audience roared. I waited for Johnny's reaction, watching him pause for a second, just long enough to get our attention before breaking out in a face-splitting grin. He said you looked different on his last visit. You were glowing brighter. He thinks you're in love. More laughs. She covered her face with a huge green hand, the left one, since the right still held the torch. You are so bad, Johnny. But I'll tell you, I do feel different. For years, I found myself taking this whole Lady of the Harbor or Mother of Freedom thing for granted. I began thinking, enough already. We've got too much diversity. I get a lot of visitors, about 4 million every year. I did not know that, Johnny said. 4 million? And they come from all over the world. A lot of them, I can't understand a word they're saying. Except French, of course, Johnny said. I waited for the rim shot. It came. Yes, French. Oui. So anyway, one day, about a month ago, it's hot. People are crawling all over me, but I'm welcoming them like I'm supposed to. Doing my duty. And this one guy, he starts talking with a real heavy Italian accent. He's telling his kids about his parents came over to America in the 1920s and saw me from the ship. And he starts crying. He's telling his children this? He's telling everyone. And he's crying while he describes how his parents cried. You made his parents feel welcome. Well, that's just it. They expected it was going to be tough in New York because even back then, a lot of people in this country didn't want any more immigrants, especially Italians. The parents, knew all this back in Italy, but they were poor. And if you were poor in Italy in those days, you were nothing. Fascists were hard on the workers and peasants. His parents hoped it might be different here, so they got on the ship. But still, they were afraid. How much different could it be here? Then they saw this giant, green, goofy-looking lady standing in the harbor. He said that's when they knew they had found a home. That any country that welcomed everybody, rich and poor, with a Statue of Liberty had to be great. I began to lose interest, and I clicked the remote. On Channel 6, news programs showed pictures of people fleeing the latest atrocity in the Middle East. Channel 10 had a World War II movie with Richard Burton and Clint Eastwood, and I watched them kill Nazis, and I thought about all the people displaced in that war, and in the wars since then, and civil wars too, and the pogroms and ethnic cleansing and such. And then Burton and Eastwood blew up an old castle and won the war. I flipped back to Carson. Johnny was holding the torch. I wouldn't stop crying. His kids were mortified. But you know how teenagers are. So I took him down to the museum in my base and showed him the plaque where the new Colossus is inscribed, and I read it to him. Keep your rich folks, it says to the world. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. I told him that America was great, not in spite of people like his mom and dad, but because of them. I said to him, you've experienced liberty. Your family has seen its light and felt its love. Now, go out and shine so others can see. He cried a little more, and then he left. And that made you feel greener? Yes. And your torch burned brighter? Much brighter. A lot more people need to see it.